Hey, welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show, where we continue our journey to 250,000 subscribers. And we're getting there thanks to you. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and share with a friend. Now, I want to discuss Dick Cheney's endorsement of Kamala Harris. In my entire life, I never thought that I would see a Dick Cheney endorsement for one, Kamala Harris, two, a Democrat. So I want you to see this clip of Dick Cheney endorsing his daughter Liz Cheney in 2022 and what he says about Donald Trump.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution, when so many in our party are too scared to do so. Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight. There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed. I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Now, again, that was endorsing his daughter, Liz, going back to 2022. But as I said before, Dick Cheney is endorsing Kamala Harris. So I want to read from you the post that Dick Cheney put out endorsing Kamala. And this is a statement directly from him. And it's basically, it states, in our nation's 248-year history, this has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He can never be trusted with power again. As citizens, we each have a duty to put country above partisanship, to defend our Constitution. That is why I will be casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. I mean, talk about an endorsement. You cannot get a crazier endorsement from somebody than this one, along with so many other Republicans that are endorsing Kamala Harris. I mean, we see this all the time. Republicans for Harris. I mean, just remember Dick Cheney was widely criticized for the Bush administration's policies regarding the campaign against terrorism, his support for wiretapping by the NSA, and his endorsement of the United States' enhanced interrogation torture program. You remember some of that stuff? Do you remember that as secretary, there was Operation Desert Storm, Operation Just Cause? I mean, look, let me be clear. Dick Cheney has never, ever, ever been a friend to the Democratic Party. And in fact, in my lifetime, I never thought that I would see the day that something like this, like that video that you just saw, would actually come out. But yet here we are. We're in that time period when you have Dick Cheney, who is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is right now the oldest living vice president ever, right? When you have Dick Cheney coming out and endorsing Kamala Harris, telling you that Donald Trump is the greatest danger to America's democracy, that's got to really tell you something. What does it mean? Well, it doesn't mean a lot, of course, to Donald Trump, right? Who, of course, anybody that has anything negative to say about him, he automatically goes out there and he attacks. So I want to give you, for a quick second, I want to go to Donald Trump's response. And I want to read it to you and then give you further my reaction. Again, as to why a Dick Cheney endorsement. Again, it's like in my lifetime, when I was a kid, I never thought I would see a black president. Then along comes Barack Obama. I never thought in my lifetime, even at this age, I never thought I was going to see a woman, right, as president of the United States, let alone a black woman. But yet here we are. We're in these wackadoodle times, thank God, right? But when I say wackadoodle, I'm referring to Dick Cheney. I'm talking about never in my life did I think that I was going to see Dick Cheney supporting the Democratic candidate for the presidency of the United States over a Republican. It goes to show you just how dangerous, and Dick Cheney was considered dangerous, but just how dangerous Donald Trump is to America's democracy. So let me show you Trump's response to Dick Cheney. Donald turns around and he says, Dick Cheney is an irrelevant rhino, and rhino means Republican in name only, along with his daughter, who lost by the largest margin in the history of congressional races. They couldn't get Scooter Libby, who did so much for them but was so unfairly treated, pardoned. I did it. He's the king of endless, nonsensical wars, wasting lives and trillions of dollars, just like Comrade Kamala Harris. I am the peace president, and only I will stop World War III. What Liz Cheney did with the unselect committee of political losers is unthinkable. She and her unselects deleted and destroyed all evidence and information. It's gone. Much of it proved that Nancy Pelosi was responsible for J6, didn't provide security. Cheney and the others should be prosecuted for what they did, but Comrade Kamala is even worse. Look, I don't even know where to start with this. There's so much to unpack here. Let me put that up for you 1 second. We're going to go in and out of it for briefly a quick second. Yes, we know that he pardoned Scooter Libby along with other people who paid him, where it benefited him. When he turns around and he talks about, he's talking about Dick Cheney is wasting lives, the king of endless nonsensical wars. Yeah, it's one thing I'm not going to disagree with him. I thought that Operation Desert Storm was a complete and total waste. But then, just like Kamala Harris, like Comrade Kamala Harris, take it down for 1 second. What war did Kamala Harris, as Vice President of the United States, including President Joe Biden, what war is he referring to? And that he and only he can stop World War III? Why? Is that what he's looking for? Is he looking to sort of scare you into believing that we are on the brink of World War III? Put it back up for 1 second more. And then I want to say one last thing about this. When he talks about Nancy Pelosi, that Nancy Pelosi, which he says has been proved, was responsible for January 6th, let's take that down. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for the January 6th insurrection. I think we all have to beg to differ that this mental case, this demented individual, believes for a split second that Nancy Pelosi, his go-to for attacks, is responsible for J6. I'm so sorry. Let's break that down for a quick second here. Who was there at the Ellipse giving a speech, talking about going into the Capitol, to stopping the certification of the election? That's Donald Trump, not Nancy Pelosi. She was there in the People's House, in the Capitol, when this melee, when this shit just broke out. And who was it that told everybody, I'll meet you there? Yeah, it was Donald Trump. In fact, we've seen videos of her both in the safe bunker trying to call for help. And where was the help? For 96 minutes, Donald Trump sat there eating popcorn, laughing, watching television, ignoring everyone, including his own daughter, Ivanka, a senior advisor to the president, telling him, you got to do something. You got to go out there and tell them to stop. Did he? No. You ever see anybody deflect responsibility more than Donald Trump? I question you on that one. And if the answer is yes, I'd love for you to send me a note. I would love to meet somebody who deflects responsibility and accountability greater than Donald Trump. Look, let me be very clear. Donald Trump is, as Dick Cheney said, and I can't believe that I agree with Dick Cheney on anything, but that Donald Trump is the greatest threat to America's democracy ever. And it's why I will end this episode, as I always do. It is imperative that you make sure that you're registered to vote, because I hear there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with the system. Vote.org. Make sure that you register to vote, and make sure that you vote Harris Walz in 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.